Hello, guys, and welcome to this episode. We're actually going to be starting off a little bit differently here because I'm going to be having a little chat about the future of the guide, the future of everything you're doing from here on out, because you have now reached the point where your account is pretty ready to go. You have the foundational grinds completed, you have money, you have teleports, you have construction, you can go around, you can store your items. So there is a lot of flexibility at this point. And the guide from this point on will be showing you a path to follow, but you don't have to follow that path exactly. I'll probably mention this in the introduction, but this is one path to follow, but it's not the only path to follow, and that's especially true with the exact quest order that we're going to follow, because you can do a million different quests right now. And once we get combats done, the next section will be focusing on the combat quest, getting your gear set up to train combats. You can see on my account I did a lot of combat training. Sand crabs, I'll probably talk about that more when I actually get to sand crabs, but you will want to train your combats, and after you train your combats you will be even more flexible to do whatever you kind of want. Following the guide is still a good idea. It'll take you step by step, but just keep it in mind that if you feel like doing something different, nobody's breathing down your shoulder about it. Okay, so with that out of the way, I also want to have some housekeeping things. The winter Todd loot that you still got, you can continue to farm those seeds and use them up, work towards your Hesperia seed and whatnot. The guide won't be talking about that until later, but you can use it. Also, the construction, I don't have any clips of me making the jewelry box in my house because I didn't make a jewelry box in my house. You see, I only got level 70 construction. I only decided after the fact that it would have probably been worthwhile to do, but looking back in hindsight, but I wasn't going to grind out just to make that one clip. So you guys go ahead and make that jewelry box in your house. You can also make a mounted dig site pendant. It's not as critical right now, but you can eventually in the future. Once you complete Fairy Tale Part 2, you have to fully complete the quest. You can make a fairy ring in your house. You can get a +5 boost for that. But just those construction things, add them. And remember for the future sections and clips that I did not have those upgrades, and maybe there's some slight differences that would be shown, but just keep it in mind. It's not a massive difference. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on. This video is just going to be a lot of me doing quests, just completing a whole bunch of quests. That's what we've been setting up for. And I might just do like a montage or something, There's not much to say. And get them done. I'm going to start actually by grabbing a cat, because we will need a cat in the future for the Shadow of a Storm, freeing Evil Dave subquest, and some other desert quests later on. I believe also need a cat. So we might as well do it now because we have the menagerie. We can now store the cat once it's fully grown, which we couldn't do before. And I'll show you guys a nice way to, okay, there she is, to carry around the stuff we need. So we have a cat. Alright, we're going to Fairy Ring CKR, I believe. There we go. Got some of these fairy rings memorized. And just up here is this fishing spot. Now these are the bait for the carambwans, but they also, not these, but they also can be used to feed your kitten. Very convenient because they are stackable. I'll get a bunch. That's probably already enough right there, but I'll get more. Okay, that's definitely enough. Okay, so that's all you gotta do, because you can go here, feed them, interact. And I've got this kitten timer plugin. I think it's like kitten timer, kitten status, something like that. But it's also a nice little plugin. But you need a small fishing net to do that. So now we have all the fish we need in one inventory spot. Okay, guys, there is Merlin's Crystal completed. A whopping 6 quest points. I think that's the most of any quest in the game. So quite a good reward actually for if you need your quest points up for a recipe for disaster. But anyway, we are going to now continue on and do Holy Grail. Okay, guys, there we go. That is Holy Grail completed. Got some nice chunks of experience. Okay, guys, that is Demon Slayer completed. Okay, guys, there is Making History completed. This might seem a bit random, but it gives you more kudos at the museum, and it gives an XP lamp, which we'll be able to put into Herblore. So it actually gives 1,000 Herblore experience as well as the other rewards. A nice 49 prayer that'll be helpful for questing, especially like Monkey Madness, where I have to get through the tunnels. So those extra prayer points will be quite nice to have. And I am going to go ahead and do the Shield of Arav quest. I've got my alt set up while I was getting set up, so we're going to go ahead and knock that out. Now, if you obviously don't have an alt, you can use the clan chat. You go to chat channel and go to um, OSRSSOA, I think is what it's called. Yes. So this clan chat is for people to connect with other people to find somebody to do the Heroes quest and the Shield of Arav quest. So it's pretty useful. If you just can't find somebody, then you can make an alt. The quest is free to play, so it is pretty easy to do. You don't need to make a members account, so if you wanted to like do that on the side while you're doing other quests, you can just knock out the alt real quick. Romeo, I don't care about you. I'm sorry, buddy. Um, I mean, you can do Romeo and Juliet anytime you want, just to get this guy from to stop talking to you. Okay, guys, we are done with Shield of Arav. A little bit messy. Apparently, I do have to complete it to some degree before I can use the favor certificates, so I can't skip the entire quest, but we can streamline a little bit. So now we're going to continue on with Jungle Potion, I believe, is the next on my list. Yeah, I'm just going to do Jungle Potion next for that Herblore experience. This should hopefully put you over level 20 Herblore. I'm almost there from lamping it from just random XP lamps, but I believe that even without any XP lamps, then this should get you to level 20. If it doesn't, then you might have to do some bit extra somewhere. Maybe complete like the Karamja Easy Diary, it might be possible to get to level 20 if you don't have it by the end of this. So we're going to go do Jungle Potion. Okay, there we go. That should give us, yep, level 20 Herblore. And again, if you don't have this, there are some other quests I think you can complete. Or the Karamja Easy Diary can give you, I think, 1,000 experience, whatnot, so you can catch up there. So there are some other ways to get there, but you need level 20 to be able to use the lamps we get from the museum on Herblore. So that's why we have to get to level 20 specifically. Alrighty, guys, I'm going to go ahead and hop in here really quick and let you know that this is actually where I looted Wintertodd on my account during my progression, and it might seem like a pretty random time to do it, but at the time I was trying to do Bon Voyage and get a Marintil for the quest, which you can get from Wintertodd. Additionally, I wanted to try and get that Tome of Fire. It's helpful for questing, and I figured I might as well go for it. And I kept a lot more items than you will see, and you can look at it, and I'll show the loot clip in a second, and you'll be able to see just how pathetic some of the quantity is. Like on the fish that I kept and the logs, they really just weren't that many, and that's why I recommended you not keep them. I did only go to level 80 fire making, and I did a mix of the solos and the masses, as I think I mentioned in the past. But it just wasn't that much, and the hassle of looting it. I also spent like 20 or 30 minutes looting. It was ridiculous with all the hassle and juggling. It was not worth all that extra time. and so I just recommend you don't do that. I'm also going to cut out the clips of me using up the loot. You can just trust I cooked the fish, cut the gems, I turned in the rubies to the museum. I also made some potions out of the lower level herbs, and that's why my herb lore level might be a little bit higher than y'all's. But I wouldn't really recommend that. It took a little bit, and it wasn't really worth it. And the mastering mixology minigame is going to be better, and you can use those herbs there later. Anyway, also I'm probably gonna move the clip of me actually doing Bon Voyage until I recommend it in the guide, as I move that much later, since that made more sense. All right, see you guys later. Okay, so now we are done searching, and let's take a look at the spoils. I got 52 magic logs, which is quite nice. We need those for later. Got a hodgepodge. We got a good number of seeds, actually. I'm pretty happy with the amount of seeds we got. More than I expected, realistically. We got 11 Ranar seeds, which is quite nice. A few willow seeds for early training. And a lot of these things aren't super important. We got the logs, which we can use for birdhouses. But I'm not sure if I'm even going to bother holding onto them because they do take space, and I didn't get quite enough that I feel like it's a big deal. But I'll look into it and figure out what we want to do. Okay, guys, that is the golem completed. Nice and easy. We are going to continue on with Shadow of the Storm. This will get us um, the start to range experience, and I'm gonna get the black pieces can be bought from the various shops. You can buy the priest gown in Varrock, and then a black wizard hat in Port Sarim should get us good to go. Also pick up Silverlight again, so we'll get it done. Hey guys, I'm gonna jump in here really quick to talk about the Shadow of the Storm boss fight. I actually had to do this boss fight twice. The first time didn't go so well, and I had to revise my methods. I was standing in melee way too much and kind of was lazy about it. But instead, you're gonna see me do this method where you can kind of hide behind the pillar, attack it with magic, and then run back behind. You do want to preserve your run energy. You'll see in the clip that I used up all my run energy ahead of time, and it was kind of a hassle. So save your run energy for the fight rather than like running over here. That's a recommendation. Something to keep in mind is that you do need to stand. You need to kill him with the dark light, and you need to be standing next to him whenever you do it. If you notice at the end of the kill, I make sure to be standing next to him while I'm killing Darklight. If you hit him and then run away before it registers, then it won't register. It's kind of a weird mechanic that you might not be aware of. But overall, the fight is pretty doable. Another thing that you'll see is I do have a rune longsword in my inventory for that fight, and that is so that you can flinch it. You don't really have the scenery here, but if you need to, you can flinch the boss with the rune longsword. You can buy it in the Champions Guild. It shouldn't be necessary with the magic, but it is an option. But either way, you should be able to do this boss fight with some cakes if you are careful. You could also get better food if you wanted, but that's up to you. Yeah, so this seems to be working much better. It looks like he only is using magic primarily to attack me. He'll bring me there. The last time I tried to melee face tank him, not the best idea. I'll slap on the rune longsword for a hit while in melee range. Yeah, that was not the cleanest, but there we go. So this should be much smoother. And if I run out of food, I have the longsword as a backup. There we go. We got him much easier this time. Okay, so make sure to use your experience on range. That's the whole point of what we're doing here, is to put the experience on range. If you mess it up, well, you're going to have to try and range another way. But that is what we're doing. You can use a chisel. I think if you have a chisel, you can get some gems from there, but we're not going to worry about that. We don't need it. And that was Shadow of the Storm completed. There you go. We completed that Recipe for Disaster. Go ahead and get it knocked out. You know, in the past, the quest helper used to tell you exactly what the combination was. So I'm not sure exactly what changed, but now it doesn't do it anymore. So that's sad. Alrighty guys, there is the bar crawl completed, and now we'll do Horror from the Deep for some range experience. And with that, we have completed the Horror from the Deep quest, and here I'm going to go ahead and do the Chompy bird hunting quest, the big Chompy bird hunting, and we'll continue on. Alrighty guys, there is big Chompy bird hunting completed, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and do the Chompy Recipe for Disaster quest right now, because why not, and maybe I'll do the other RFD quest. We'll see how I feel. Okay guys, that is RFD subquest done. You know what, I decided that while I'm on the roll, I'm just going to go ahead and complete the last two of the easy RFD subquests. Obviously these two will be weighted for later, but I might as well knock them out now. You don't have to do this right now, but you also, there's nothing stopping you from doing it right now, so we might as well do it. Okay guys, there you go. That is Pirate Pete completed. And I'm going to go ahead and knock out the Lumbridge guide, and I need to do Murder Mystery for that. Another pretty simple quest, and we'll go from there. Okay guys, that was Murder Mystery complete. Thank God for Quest Helper. You know, in the past, this was one of the worst quests to do with Quest Helper, because it got really confused when it tried to figure out who was the culprit. But I guess they made the update so that it recognizes, it just knows who your person is. So that's really nice. Shout outs to the whoever works in Quest Helper. Really like it. I've been playing so long. I remember before the days of Quest Helper. I mean, I'm sure a lot of other people do as well. But yeah, it was, we had to use the guides and go from the wiki guide, and I was back with Rune HQ is what I started with. But yeah, really much appreciated. So we're just gonna go ahead and knock this one out. It'll be quick, and then we'll continue on. Let me grab the items from down here. There we go. That is the Lumbridge guide completed. And now we just have the 2 hard ones remaining, so we'll come back to these. We're going to do Queen Awowogi whenever we're going to get level 70 cooking probably, and then do Monkey Madness 1 and this one back to back, so that we can get the monkey talismans all at once. Okay, guys, that was Lost Tribe completed. And now we'll just go ahead and do Death to the Dorgashin while we're at it. I think it gives some range experience, and, you know, we might as well get it done. Hey guys, I'm here at Juna, and this is by the Tears of Guthix. I want to give you a quick tip to go ahead and make a sapphire lantern, and I think you need a chisel as well for the quest, whatever you need for the Tears of Guthix quest. And while you're doing Death to the Dorgashin in the next section, go ahead and complete Tears of Guthix while you're down here. The quest takes literally 1 to 2 minutes. It's very, very short. And then you can do your story if you want. It's not a big deal. You could wait for better stats, but honestly, I'm the kind of guy who forgets about it, and you just do it now and, you know, come back. But that's up to you. Anyway, you'll see me talk about this in just a few clips, but I wanted to make sure I put this in before the quest in case anybody was following along, you know, step by step and didn't see it. Okay, guys, I finally got the damn outfit. I also am gonna try and keep these buttons. They're useful for animal magnetism, but if I end up needing the inventory slot, I'll just drop them. I'm not really sure if it'll be viable to hold on to them until we get to that point, but might as well see if I can. There we go. That's Death to the Dorgashin completed. And I am actually going to go ahead and put this outfit in my house, but I'm also going to go ahead and complete the Tears of Guthix quest. I kind of realized why we should do it while I was down there. I mean, we could have brought the materials with us. I might have the guy give that as an option, but you know, just something to do to get a bit of extra experience. Looks like Hunter will be the skill to get the experience, which is not a bad thing to do. And you know what, like, you might be able to get more efficient Tears of Guthix if you wait. So if you want to do something like that, you can, but I always forget to do it, so I'm gonna do it right now while I'm thinking of it. Okay guys, that is Tears of Guthix complete. As I said, the hardest part about that quest is just getting the Sapphire Lantern in the first place, because it's literally like a minute long quest at most. Okay, and then now I'm going to drink from the Tears of Guthix. So I think this is actually a fine enough world, but you want a world where all 3 of these blues are in sync with each other, so it changes, and they all come together. So this is a fine one. And right now the experience should go into Hunter, as I said earlier, is a totally fine thing to do. Might not be perfect at this. I haven't done it in a while, but I think we just go to the which one that spawns first here, and then we hope that we get another blue spawn afterward. So we wait here after this goes, and then see we didn't get a blue spawn, so then we go to the next one over here, and so on. That's, I think, the efficient way to do it from what I remember. Hopefully I'm not wrong on that. Alright, so we didn't get it. But that allows us to get maximum tiers. This does scale based on your quest points. You could get more quest points, you know. See, there we go. So that's what we wanted, and that's why we get the world while they're stacked on top of each other, so that you can go there. You always want to go to the first one. So this one was the first one that goes, and you go like that. See how many tiers you can get, and see if you get lucky. 72 tiers. I don't have that many quest points, so I'll take it. We'll see how much experience we get. Oh, wow. Okay, that was not as much as I thought it was going to be. Okay. Well, I was expecting at least a couple thousand experience, but hey, whatever. It's 1,000 experience is 1,000 experience. Okay, guys, I'm back. We are going to continue on with the Wanted quest. This will give us the Slayer experience that you need to complete Animal Magnetism. It's kind of a long quest if I remember correctly, but you know, Slayer experience is not easy to come by right now, so it'll get it knocked out. We have most of the items we already need, so we'll get the pure essence as you go during the quest. You have a pickaxe already, so I don't need to worry about that at the moment. But that's what we got. All right, so I'm just gonna come over here to this pure essence and mine this so I can do it quickly during the quest. That's why we got the pickaxe and didn't do it early. And I'm gonna go ahead and just juggle some of these items on the ground because you can turn it in really quick and then pick up your items and you won't lose anything. And it's much simpler than having done it at the start of the quest. Okay, and that is the wanted quest completed. There we go. And now we can get rid of all this random junk. And I don't think we need the comm orb anymore. I think that's used for later quests, but we can just get it again in the future. And we have successfully held on to our polished buttons, which is quite nice. And I'm going to go ahead and collect the items I need for animal magnetism because the only thing left before we do animal magnetism is Ernest the Chicken, which doesn't really require anything. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and do animal Ernest the Chicken and then animal magnetism, which because we have teleports in our house won't be too bad to do. And the Mithra axe we just can just buy from the woodcutting guild, so that's nice and convenient. Okay, guys, that is Ernest the Chicken completed. Nice and easy. And we can continue on with animal magnetism. Okay, guys, that is animal magnetism completed. And some levels, nice. 50 crafting is actually quite relevant because that means I can make an amulet of strength. I was hoping I would reach that through questing and wouldn't have to go back to any crafting training, so that is nice that I got it. If you didn't do extra crafting experience at Guardians of the Rift, you might not quite reach this. You might have to get some other form of crafting experience to make up the difference. But I got it. Alright, so we're going to wear this, destroy that. I don't think we need it anymore. I don't know if we need the hammer anymore. I guess I'll hold on to it for the moment. But this point, you can start range training. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to right away just because, I might continue questing, but you could settle in. I might try and get a melee setup going before I get into range training so I could just do them both back to back and settle in for a grind. But at this point, you can get yourself, a bone crossbow, bone bolts, a basic range setup, and start AFKing, especially if you have downtime. I might be doing that during video takes, depending on how it goes. The basic goal is you need at least 60 range at minimum, because that's a quest requirement for one of the later quests. But I mean, of course, higher range doesn't hurt. Going to 70 range gives you the crystal bow, and so on. You don't really need I mean, you don't need to stop. If you want to go higher range, it doesn't hurt you. Eventually, training with Chinchampas is better if you really feel like being more efficient. Training, Hunter with red Chinchampas and then chinning for range experience is really good later on. But we're nowhere close to doing that. So anyway, well, I'm gonna go have a think and have fun. Okay, guys, I'm just gonna squeeze on in here real quick and let you know that before we wrap up, you're actually going to go ahead and complete the Bone Voyage quest. We did that earlier on my actual account, but as I mentioned in previous clips, I want you to do it now because it makes more sense to do it now, kind of more continuous. Also, is it Bone Voyage, Bone Voyage? Wouldn't it just be Bone Voyage? I don't know. I don't know why everybody pronounces Bon Voyage for some reason. I started doing it, and I'm not really sure what's correct anymore. I'm doing a recording. Okay, guys. So, um, yeah, sorry about that. My girlfriend wanted to give her opinion on it. And she didn't realize I was recording. So, we have determined that it is in fact Voyage. She's the expert on this, even though she's never played RuneScape and never heard of the quest before. But you know what? She knows her stuff, so we're going with it. Bone Voyage is the correct answer. Um, so what else do I have? Oh, right. So whenever you do that, you're also going to get some XP lamps. I'll probably show this in a little clip in a second, but you need to get XP lamps from turning in those quests you completed for kudos and put those, of course, on Herblore. Hopefully that's self-explanatory, but don't put it on like attack or something. I don't know. You know what? If they're your lamps. You can put them whenever you want. I'm just recommending that you put them on Herblore, but you do you, you do you. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so I'm gonna come up here and talk to this guy so that we can get our museum kudos, and we will also get some lamps, some experience lamps. This is part of why we completed the quest we did. I think Shield of Arav and Making History, and I think one other all give us the lamps, which we will use on Herblore experience. And they also give us the museum kudos we need to get 100 for Bone Voyage. So that's why we're all doing this. There we go. And these, of course, go into Herblore. There we go. Not quite level 26, but almost. Okay, guys, that is Bone Voyage completed, and we're actually going to not do anything here. Alrighty, guys. So with that, I am going to go ahead and call it an episode. You now have unlocked the ability to train ranged effectively. You got your Ava's device, your bone crossbow. You're pretty much good to go. The guide is going to work on the assumption that you power through and get the melee set up and then do training, but you're able to train range now if you would like. So just going ahead and stopping there. Also, I gotta give shout outs to my girlfriend. I know we had a little bit of blooper earlier, but she is awesome. We really had a good laugh over it. But yeah, she really supports me and deals with me doing all these recordings all the time. I actually have to speak pretty loud to have my mic catch these recordings relatively okay, and it can be really obnoxious for her. So I love her and I appreciate it. But yeah, that's all I'd say. Shout outs to her, and I will see you in the next one.